Hello viewers and welcome to the GonzoEwok channel with your lovely hosts Gonzo
and Ewok.
And we're here to play a little bit more of Kerbal Space Program, or as we're called around here, get ready for it Ewok,
Geordie Space Program. The next generation.
The next generation. New, improved, bigger, better, all the rest of it. So we'll jump straight back in here. We're coming right off the back of recording the last episode, which hopefully you've watched. We're playing Build 24 here. That means contracts. That means supposedly we should be quite sensible. In that first episode we seem to do quite well. We've made a bit of cash, getting a bit of science. We're now jumping into some unlocking by the looks of it here, you
I was just having a look to see if we could afford anything. We can afford general rocketry, but to be honest, I'd rather stick it out until we can get the Science Junior, because things will move faster once we've got the Science Junior.
And then if we're doing all these simple contracts, whacking one of those into the mix as well is going to just up our science quite a bit.
So let's see what contracts we've got available. We've got some parachute testing. Again, I'm quite nervous about actually meeting the conditions for some of these.
You know what, mate? I think we could give it a go. Why not just as a little start to the video, we'll build something fairly basic and whack on like one of the parachutes.
You see, I'd rather
do it with like a liquid fuel engine, so you've got more control over it.
See, I'd rather do things. I think for the stuff you're doing in atmosphere, I think it really wants you to have planes. I really do.
Alright.
Because it's so specific, the type of speed it wants you to go to. Whereas everything else, it doesn't seem to care.
Okay then. Right, we haven't discussed this, but I'm going to make a...
You're going to make a suggestion?
Make a suggestion, I make a proposal, if you will. What we'll do, you like focusing on the rockets, you like focusing on the height and the speed and all those records. If you want to do that, and we're going to collect some science as we're doing that, that'll allow it to start unlocking parts. And if we get our hands on some parts for a space plane as we go along, I'll take over the controls and see if I can put a space plane together, and I'll see if I can put a little work in. In general terms, I'm alright at making space planes. I crash more than I fly, but I think with some of those test parts, I'll give it a go. I'll see if I can...
Hey, I'm fine with planes. Don't disparage my plane flying ability just because we didn't do any in any of the recordings. If anything, it's going to force me to do some now, which is good. The two tasks that I took on there were achieve orbit around Kerbin.
Nice.
We've still got to escape the atmosphere, reach space, and achieve an altitude of 33,000 feet.
And if we're going to get orbit, we're definitely going to hit that one.
So the first thing I'm going to do is actually not that. I'd like to get us a little bit of science.
Alright, what a bit of science spam, eh?
So, a little bit of science spam, so I'm just going to quickly do the hangar and...
You should have took a... Oh, we haven't got the Science Junior, have we yet? I know what you're saying, the launch pad.
The hangar and the launch pad, or the launch pad and the runway, rather.
Alright, and it's a bit cheesy. We probably should have done it last time as well, though, to be fair, to get it out of the way, but we'll do it here. Just take a couple of minutes, bear with me, folks. Actually, I'm about to choke on my own spittle. You bear with us. That was unpleasant.
It was unpleasant.
Aye. Right, it's gone. We're back. Me dulcet tones have hopefully returned.
See, that way we can unlock the Science Junior. That's what I'm more concerned about.
You're a clever man.
So if we very, very, very quickly do this, and then get enough to unlock the Science Junior.
Yeah, it would be...
In fact, we can unlock the Science Junior now.
It would be mental to go to space and not have a Science Junior.
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
But that's not going to be a problem anymore because we've got it. Are they very expensive, the scientific parts? I haven't been cottoning on. I haven't really had a look.
Let's have a look. So your average. So yes. Let's get back to the right place. Your
fuel
T200 fuel tank, for example, is 425.
Engines will
That's
be
for a small
pricey.
fuel tank.
800
for the goo, 880.
Oh, that's not bad. And liquid fuel engines are fairly expensive.
So it's about the price of an engine, really.
Right. But obviously the dividends that we're going to get in getting more science, it's a no-brainer. If you're going to do something, do it scientifically.
Absolutely. Let's see if we can quickly spam enough to get something else.
Meant?
Well, I'm not fully exhausting the opportunities here. I'm just doing what I can quickly without wasting too much time, so then we can get into the meat of the video.
Aye. You know, more professional YouTubers would probably do this off camera. And
we don't
just
do anything off camera.
But,
that's not how we do it.
No.
Initially, we'd planned that we'd do some of the construction off camera.
Yeah.
In order to minimise that, because obviously we spend a lot of time building rockets, but I don't think that's going to be feasible since we're going to... There we go. Oops. since we're going to be building specific rockets based on the contracts, and we're not going to know the contracts until we actually start, so I'm not sure it's going to be possible.
The other thing is some of our best arguments have happened while we're trying to put a ship together, and it would be a shame to deprive our viewers of that. Nice, there we go. Runway science at its best.
Cheap runway science at its best.
Cheap, nasty runway science. Collecting that asphalt. Tapping that asphalt.
Asphalt.
There we go. It's exactly what he's just done.
Surface sample and EVA report.
Good bit of science you get for doing now.
Bring him back home. And you might as well exploit it, eh?
Hey, it needs to be done at some point. Better sooner rather than later. Better you're doing it now than you do that on your way to the moon or something. Cool. More cash.
So we got all that back. So we didn't actually spend anything doing that because we recovered all the parts,
No,
effectively unused.
We've made 18 grand, we're unlocking parts, we're getting stuff done.
How have we made 18 grand? How the hell have we made 18 grand? Oh, it must be the upfront payments for the contracts.
Aye.
So we're going to take this general rocketry because we're going to need that to unlock things further along the line.
Handy.
And that's all we can do at the moment.
Right, next bit then. Gonna shoot for an orbit potentially.
We're going to shoot for an orbit. And let's think about how we're going to do this.
Have we escaped the atmosphere yet? Did that happen?
No, it hasn't happened. Let's think about how much we're going to get for doing this, so I can weigh. It's not telling me on this screen. Never mind, I'm just going to build a ship to do it.
Aye, just build a ship and then make sure that we've got, you know, enough of it to come back in one piece. Oh, that's interesting. Bloody hell, it's quite big.
It's all going to come back.
Right, are you sure?
Yeah, I'm going to bring it back in one piece, as you say.
Hmm.
That's
Right.
the plan anyway.
Cool.
I'm not going to achieve an orbit on this flight. I'm just shooting for escaping the atmosphere.
Alright, parachutes are probably quite useful for a survivability standpoint.
I would agree.
Quite a few parachutes given the size of it. Although, to be fair, those
Do you think
tanks...
that's going to be enough, or do you think I need to put more engines on it? It's been so... I haven't played in so long, so I'm almost
a bit rusty.
I'm almost sort of finding that...
I'll tell you what, give it a go, and if it works, we'll look like geniuses, and if it's bad, we'll just chalk it down to entertainment.
Fair enough. Can't
Nice.
say fairer than that. Who's going to fly it?
Not Jeb.
Bill and Bob haven't been up yet.
No, has Jeffred been?
Jeffred hasn't been
he
up
hasn't
yet.
done
We've had
jack
Bill and
yet.
Mumford.
Send him up.
Yeah, they're the test pilots. They're not the astronauts. They're not there for...
Or, as we call them in these parts, the space monkeys.
The space monkeys.
Right, get them off.
I keep forgetting to do the staging, which
It's all
is
right.
a terrible thing.
As long as you notice it before you hit space.
So
Right.
yeah, we're just shooting for space.
Oh, it's chewing its way through fuel, that thing, mind.
I forgot to put legs on it,
That's unfortunate.
so it is going to kind of explode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and aim for splashdown. So I'm going to see if I can... I mean, it should be fine if we sort of lean to the 90-degree.
Aye.
Then we'll come out over water, and we won't have to worry about the whole thing. Damn it! Oh, right, I'm aborting.
What's happened?
Well, I didn't put any science on it.
That is true. It's a good test of the parachutes, is what we're doing. One thing that I will say.
Oh,
is,
hang on. Yeah.
We've got a lot of fuel, and that fuel weighs a fair bit.
It's fine. Like I say, we'll go for splashdown.
You appear to be aiming for the ground, or aiming for the water at quite a speed.
I'm aiming for the water.
Jeffred is bricking it.
Can't say that I blame him,
I'm sorry,
given
Jeffred.
the circumstances.
Jeffred, I'll tell you what, you can have the next day off, alright? You can
No,
take...
no, he can't. He's flying the next mission.
I'm giving him a flexi day. He's getting the day off because he's had a hell of an ordeal here, and that was largely down to us, the lack of science.
Well, it was largely down to me, although you have to take your share of the blame for not saying, Ewok, what the hell are you doing?
It's not my job. My job's to sit here and take the mickey. If you remember, I got relegated. I was chief engineer, and now I'm the guy that empties the bins.
Well, is that like a little...
I like a barrier reef.
That's nice.
It's nice, aye. There's a few little graphical bits that I haven't noticed before. No, the game runs in 64-bit now as well, which will help your system with all its RAM. Doesn't matter on my little potato. It'll do the trick.
I should maybe consider turning the graphics up. Maybe that's like a sort of line between where Kerbin shores and Kerbin's ocean begins. What's that? What is that?
Avoid it. Avoid. I don't know what it is. There's a weird line.
It's coming to get
Mammy,
us.
I'm
I can't
scared.
escape.
It's like a really flat mister on.
Right, I expect the ship will come apart unless they fix the water physics. Water tends to knock things apart.
Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Wait, that was an expensive mistake. Oh, we've kept the parachutes. Swings and roundabouts.
And I can't exit because the hatch is obstructed. Let's spin it around there. Might as well take a crew report while we're here.
Get some water. I mean, we'll have just dropped 20 grand into the bottom of the sea for no apparent reason. So, go on, Jeffrey. Get the signs. Bring me back a glass of... It's the most expensive glass of water.
Kerbal Jesus right there.
The most expensive glass of water in history.
How much did that ship cost?
I shudder to think. We had 58 grand. We'll see what we've got after we've recovered, minus here. Right, okay, that cost us a fair bit.
It cost... But we still have bits of parachute to recover.
Right, what is that? That gets for nothing.
It gets for nothing.
Deployed parachutes floating.
Because it's debris, it gets for nothing. Okay, well, that was a good start.
Well, I beg to differ. Try it again. We'll have some science.
Right.
Before
what were we missing? We were missing legs. Legs for landing.
I don't know if that'll be long enough. You might have to do one like down over as well.
Good plan, Batman.
Like see, that's quite snazzy, and then you can put the legs on that. See, survivability, loving it. We've never had to worry about that previously. It's nice that we've got to consider things like that now. That's a good feeling. It'll probably up the cost, but since we're putting some science on here as well, I want a few extra parachutes. Maybe some of the side-mounted ones around the outside of the tanks.
It'll be fine.
You'd make us feel better if you pop them on.
I suppose. I mean, it's if we land it, then we get all the money back, with the exception of the fuel.
It's all in, you see.
That's why I'm setting it up in one bit. Normally I'd have the radials.
Aye. I mean, it's an interesting one, but I think just because money's on a bit of a tight budget here until we hit like a fat contract, might be the way we've got to do it.
I mean, this is interesting because it's the first space program where we could potentially lose.
There's a fail state now.
We could reach the point where we can't afford to build a rocket.
Overdeveloped sense of justice is playing Warframe again.
I need to find out who that is.
Aye. It's a good name though. It's a good screen name as far as they go.
Right, we've got everything we need on this now.
Right, get the legs out. I always want to start from a legs perspective.
No, because it wonked it last time we did that. And I don't want this to take off wonky.
Well, I feel as though there's been a mutiny here. I'm not particularly happy about that, but we'll see how we'll get on.
Right, which way am I going to do my gravity burn? I think I'm going to gravity burn north because I don't want to land in the water.
You not just want to do it good old plain Jane vanilla and just do it at the 90?
No, because if we go at the 90, there's a very, very strong chance we'll land somewhere over here. And I want to land on land so we can use the legs and not smash the bits and get all the money back that we've invested in this rocket.
Alright. Well, that's a very well-made point. Can't really argue with it if I'm honest.
Bearing in mind how much money we've got left now. We're down to 15,000.
This might turn into another aborted miniseries.
It may indeed.
If it happens, if the worst comes to worst and we'll go bankrupt, we'll just have to carry on anyway.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm losing control.
Yeah, it's gone.
Oh, like I say, the physics is very different.
Up. Very belly up.
See, normally you'd be
this doesn't
quite an easy turn.
Doesn't look like orbital flight as I know it. If you can at least get there like 33,000, although I mean that's a bit dubious now as well.
Yeah, a bit of a stretch, mate. So yeah, I lost control just trying to do a gravity burn there.
Maybe we need like might need wings on or something like that, or you know, something to give her a little bit more control. Control seems to be lacking. And when I've got like winglets or something we could high on just to see if that would give her a little bit more control when we're trying to tilt.
Yeah, it could possibly.
Well, We might get up to 33 here. If we get one of the contracts and we'll come back in one piece.
We'll hit 33 and then we'll come back in one piece.
I fired our in that direction a bit. Good call.
See, I think I just started trying to gravity burn too early.
I like doing the old gravity turn, eh?
And I think the fact that we were still so low down, I've got quite a bit of atmospheric resistance and that made it spin out. Yeah, we're going to hit space.
There we go, yeah. That's
Probably should have checked the apoapsis before now. Or the periapsis. No, the apoapsis.
There's that music. First time in this series. We're out.
So, yeah, there we go.
Just realised we've sent Jeb up on this as well.
Oh, there we go. 29,500 for that.
15 signs. Now when the atmosphere starts spamming the signs.
And another 17 and a bit for that.
Mint.
And
right,
yeah, absolutely, let's...
We're solvent again. We're not going to have the bailiffs knocking on the hangar doors. Sorted. And pay our rent for another week.
So this is space near Kerbin we're getting results from.
Brittle goo. Cool. That might have been in your description as well. Not one that I can remember seeing.
The microgravity has greatly affected the growth of crystalline structures. Loose objects are also flying about the bay in a very messy but fascinating way.
That's not one I've seen before, I don't think. Might be new, might not.
I can't recall them, to be perfectly honest with you.
It's one that I cannot remember seeing. Doesn't necessarily mean it's new. Alright.
Crew report.
Jeb, do a spacewalk. Don't do anything silly. If you get lost in space, I'll be very upset. Right, get back in.
And there we go. Hey, didn't we do well?
That wasn't bad at all.
To be perfectly honest, given how ridiculously high we got that apoapsis, we might have been able to do an orbit.
Aye.
I think we would have been pushing it with this particular craft.
We certainly don't want to get anybody lost in space. Because
But check that out. That's a view.
Aye. It's pretty nicely done.
We are in space, officially.
Well in space.
Oh, hang on. Are we going to overshoot? Yeah, we're going to land in the... I didn't want to land there.
With the extra parachutes, if we put the legs out, it might just break our fall a bit.
Let's hope so. I mean, even if we lose the majority of the rocket...
We've made cash, haven't we?
We've made cash.
Aye.
Unfortunately, we might lose the Science Junior.
You know, with the extra parachutes that we've got going on, might be alright with it. It's going to hurt quite a bit. That's going to be quite a sharp way coming back down. Jeb's going to be in quite a bit of pain. So come back through.
Yeah, this is the point in time where his sort of eyes smash back into his skull. His teeth are ripped out by the atmospheric pressure.
He's 30 feet tall because of the stretch. Alright, I'll get the...
And now he's condensed back to 4 feet tall.
Yeah, that's it. That's going to be an interesting one for him.
Sorry, I interrupted you there. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I'd put your parachutes out fairly sharpish on your legs. Like, do it. There we go. Feel better now. Might be alright, you know.
Oh, it'll be fine.
If the science survives and Jeb survives, that's not bad going. I'll take that.
Even if all the science doesn't survive, at least we've got the cash.
Aye.
I mean, we'll get up in space again, so we'll easily be able to reclaim anything that we lose. It's just a shame to think that we might...
Why they're not... Oh. It gets us every time, those parachutes trolling us. Every time. Christ, they're not going to come out, and then they do. And then we're all right. Now, that's a good speed to be coming down at.
However, these things... Like I say, it's water. If you hit land, it's bizarre. If you hit land with them with no legs, it'll probably blow the engine up and everything else will be fine. If you hit water, chances are the whole thing just comes apart.
It's like the engines are then compacted up into the rest of the craft, isn't it? It is a strange one, though. Hopefully that's something that gets fixed at some point.
Yeah. And it's something that whenever I moan about the game, I mean, I love the game, but whenever I pick a fault at a little minor thing, I think it's always worth pointing out that this game is in beta. It's not a finished product.
Yeah.
And look at that. That's just perfect.
I love it. We got water last time, so don't have to worry about that. Let's just bring it back in. Not a part lost. For the cost of our fuel, achieve one of the Oh, what are you doing?
I thought I could get an EVA report on it.
It's not a diving platform. It's a spaceship.
I thought it might be high enough to count as flying over Kerbin's waters.
Now what's he gonna do? You're tipping it? Oh, great.
What? He's fine. just recover them. I was just hoping to not have the pain of having to recover each bit separately. So there we go. Kerbin Jeb brought back virtually nothing himself, except he brought back his own good self. Let's bring the craft back. So
Nice.
58.3 science takes us up to 100, as we said there.
Very canny, aye.
We'll get
20 grand.
20 grand back from the parts that we recovered,
Love it.
and that's a pretty successful mission. I think we should end on a high point. Episode 1, we did some little flights in the atmosphere. Episode 2, we did the suborbital flight.
We know what comes next then.
Yeah, let's quit it and come back next time for episode 3, where we'll try and achieve orbital flight.
Sounds good.
All right. Please take a look at what's about to come up on your screen. There'll be a few buttons there that you can press if you've got annotations enabled on your YouTube account or Google account or whatever it's called these
Probably
days.
changed name 5 times between us recording this and you seeing the video. Like.
It's got a little subscribe button on there just to make it easier for you, so you don't have to go the hassle of doing it all yourself.
And you should probably click on that. And if you haven't clicked on that, like go and click on that. Like most people say, please do. We've been saying please do for like 6 months and nobody bothers. So go and do that now.
Yeah, and
we'll
get all your friends to do it too.
Yeah, we'll still be here. Just go and do that. That would be much appreciated. And we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching.